You guys, I've shot a video once upon a time a while ago, but about this topic, but I'm not sure if it's posted anywhere, so I'm not sure where exactly to find it. So I haven't really searched for it, but if it happens to appear, I apologize for spamming and doubling that way of topic, but at least now I'm even a little bit more well informed and sure what I'm talking about, and I have some more points to, some more bullets to be talking about on this exact subject. So it's about many of the richest people nowadays are telling you, and it's a good thing if you are growing a big business. It's into a giant one. It will be the best advice, most probably. I'm not sure about that, but I'm not on that level, so I can't be totally precise in my opinion. But maybe it's working that way, at least to a certain point where you can actually afford something else. Anyway, I'm talking about having many businesses in many niches, many fields, or having one business that's well, maybe a little bit larger in its field, but is actually targeting more than one thing eventually in similar spaces. So and similar niches, but it's just one business. If you ask me, it's okay to start with one business, of course, but to grow several businesses, and that's not just to see which one will uh, be going in the best direction, the direction that you want, which one will grow. Uh, Never mind the mistakes, etc., etc. Yeah, you can learn and you can choose one topic and one field and just great in it. But some of us, for example, me myself, I'm having actually one business at this point, one main business I have dedicated some time in other projects, and I'm earning little sums from them each and every month, but one main business only to this point. But I know people that are successful and have several of them, at least like something like, it doesn't matter, it could be just a couple of them, two for example, or three, but I know some people with, for example, something like 7 to 12 different businesses, and some are getting very well, and you can combine them at some point. And if you want to be more tight about it, you can actually combine them in one big company. That's not so much of a problem. But if, for example, some of them are just not getting anywhere you want them to be, you can just well, stop putting much attention on them and focus on the other subjects that are more successful. But that's not the main reason why you shall be trying in the beginning with, if you ask me, with more than just one business. It's a very dynamic world nowadays, and for example, if you don't have the best idea, or you have a very good idea but it's working mainly for you yourself and some small segment, then it seems that could be the worst decision. But on the other hand, if you totally well put yourself out of your motivation and just try to score some financial results that could demotivate you in time, and this could be actually critical for your business in the wrong way, of course, and you can fail big time from doing such things. So having at least a few businesses for the beginners, for the starters, it's kind of okay. It's kind of okay to start from that point, if you ask me, and there are always options to combine them in one big business, or to just well refuse to continue working on some of the projects and well, literally let's say just leave them. If they are not working, you don't really want that stuff to be to put so much effort on something that doesn't pay. So yeah, if you ask me, the smartest choice is to start with several businesses in several niches. To start with one, of course, but to grow to several niches. And to focus on one main thing, but to have some prioritization over the second and the third, for example, and from there on, you can have the bigger picture. You can see how actually in the different fields what's happening, how the people are reacting. You collect some feedback. You literally receive much practical knowledge from that point of view. If you're standing there, and it's a good thing to start from there. Like I said, if you grow and become at least an average to large business, well, then maybe that's not the best way. Maybe then you have to focus on just one subject. But the other thing is that several, for example, if you invest like let's say something like that's an ideal some for a beginner, for a startup, or you can start from even less. But let's say you have the optimal amount of something like $50,000, and you want to start from there with that money and invest them in just one business. You have to start from somewhere. So let's say then you make you start earning like 100,000 a year, which is relatively easy nowadays. You can start with 50 and grow the business in the first few years. Maybe the first year you can grow it to a business that's earning something like 100,000 a year. So you're doubling that for only 1 or 2 years, and it's a benchmark many are putting, and many are succeeding in that. It's not so easy, but it happens. It can happen. And then you want to double that business, for example. Sometimes you have to invest all the money you have just earned, or even more than that. And sometimes you can fail, but if you have the dedication, if you have the motivation to start the second one and do the same process, and just there's a limit to that, of course. But if you focus on just doing the same thing that you just did in a little bit different niche, but where you're still your skill set is still compatible to that subject, well, then you have two working businesses, and you can sell even one of them, or just continue with them, and in time that will pay. And if you ask me, don't lose focus. Doesn't mean don't have at least like 2 or 3 businesses in the beginning. It's a smart choice, because you will be earning, for example, if you try to double, you can fail, okay, but even if you don't, you have to invest much more. Than from some point it happens. It has happened to me, for example, several times. If you wanna make much more than you are making at this point from your business, if you want your business to be more successful than it is, big time, like you wanna literally make a multiplier 1.5 or something like that to it, you have to invest much more money than just to make a successful startup. Much more. It's like, for example, to be earning an additional your business to be earning an additional for example, $12,000 a year. You have to invest, for example, $36,000. But if you invest $36,000 for a startup, a new business, when you have that skill set of yours, you can the first year you can actually be getting something like I said, at least 100, maybe at least $76,000, for example, um, figuratively speaking, but you can be actually earning much more in the beginning from several smaller businesses than from one big business, and sometimes it's very much riskier. And if you don't feel so, if you don't feel like it, of course you have to do some consulting. That's not um, uh, financial advice from an expert, but I have some experience. So, well, you have to make your research, of course, but actually I know that for some businesses and for some people, things are working exactly that way from experience. So I have more than 30 different cases I have observed, and very few of them, if I'm correct, just two of them have made it the traditional way with growing just one big business, and it was a very a very specific niche that couldn't fail. But most of the people are actually putting their cards on actually investing in several options, and that's the most successful. The only businesses that I have seen fail big time, and the people stopped wanting, just left that history behind them. They literally surrendered doing business, and the only few ones that actually failed big time and bankrupted totally, and decided to work as employees because that's the risk-freer way, are guys that actually had just one business, and it failed at some point. You are seeing what's happening, the pandemic, the economical crisis, and so many other factors that can actually make you put you on your knees if you are a business owner. So yeah, sometimes you just can't fix things the easy way, or sometimes there's no way to fix things for one of your businesses. But if you have several, and if you are not in a very specific niche that you have monopolized, or you have just a few competitive a few companies that are your competition, and it's by somehow creative competition, or you just know that you can beat them in that game, or just be in a good position, well, it's a smart choice to start with several small businesses. I would recommend not more than 7 maybe for the beginning, and from that point on you know what you're doing. I mean, after the third one, maybe you know if it's worthy for yourself, if it's working, but you are not investing so much most of the time. And like I said, you have to start from one, but if you feel like you can at least put an additional one or two businesses, so you can have more stability. If you ask me, that's more stable. It's not more profitable, but it's more stable, and actually you can decide where to put your effort. So if you are tired from working too hard on one of them, you can put a little bit more effort on the second one, for example, according to your prioritization, and then to the third, or return to the first one, and like that you can always be motivated to work the most efficient and effective you can. And that's a good thing. If you ask me, I would go that way if I had a choice, but my business has its problems, and I'm trying to go that way actually, and it's working fine, because actually one of the side businesses is earning like 0.5 of 50% of what I'm earning from my main business, which is very, so to say, developed through the years. It was actually existing from more than 11 years already, and it's successful from more than 8. And still, one of the newer projects is earning me half of that already, and it's probably gonna uh, get even skyrocket even more if we are careful about it. And I would put even more effort. I can't right now because it's a very strict topic, very limited at this point, and I'm a specialist to something that's already happening. I can't work so much before some of the other professionals make all that has already been planned and the ideas planted and implemented in the work process, so it can start big time. Literally, I have made already the blueprints, so to say, every aspect of it, and there are a few more people working on that. That kind of the deal, so to say, that kind of um, well, the project. So it is growing little by little, but we don't have so many IT specialists, so we're waiting for them to finish what we have started so we can test it, etc., etc. But for now, what we are doing, and I won't be sharing still, but soon enough, I hope I could feel more comfortable about that project so I can share, and it will be spread in the social media, etc. But to this point, it's very interesting because we are not doing so much, but we're actually more people than we're in my company, for example, and we are earning nice amount of side cash even to that moment, because actually new projects are very much more profitable than the old traditional ones in so many ways. Now we have all that online options, and it's just easier to reach the people that want to be reached by your company and to put some value in their lives, make them part of the big team, and that's at least my idea. Or just give them some information that they can use so they can actually achieve bigger and greater in their lives. So yeah, it's a very cool thing. There are always free guides, free information, free so many things that we're always making for those that don't want to pay a penny. There are so many ways to benefit from our work, and that's maybe one of the best things. But also there are those that want to level up from that point. And actually, if you ask me, the free knowledge we are sharing is more profitable, because if you can't start, you can't continue. And of course, the advanced techniques that which people are actually paying for are very useful, but there are so many different teachings, guides, coaching, etc., nowadays. If you ask me, the free stuff is always the most important. What you're giving for free to the people, so they can start. That's my main idea, to give the people a chance to at least imagine starting something on their own, to start working for themselves, because most of the people I know actually want to do that, want to go that way, but some of them are just hesitating and not doing it, and that's not a good thing. So that's my I want to see it. It's not about I can survive with very very um, fewer even that much fewer actually that I'm earning nowadays. I wanna see people strive for happiness, for greatness, for something bigger in their lives, and that's my main goal, my main idea. I know that not everyone is wants to go that way. Not everyone is actually having those thoughts in their minds to be always scaling, getting bigger, getting literally more comfortable in themselves. Some have other goals, but that's the best thing if I see someone that I have even even 1% helped in their way to even less than 1%, even if I'm just an idea that was a second opinion or something like that, and I see someone goals that has happened, and that's the thing that's making me uh, the happiest. That's the thing that is actually giving the most happiness in my life. Literally, that's the subject that is giving me more happiness than everything else, and I mean it. I mean it. I understand that while saying that I'm prioritizing some of the best, the best, well, and most um, well appreciated ideas to the second, third, etc. places. But that's it. I'm sharing that. That's me, and I love seeing people um, actually having big dreams and trying to reach them. That's the most precious thing for me, and it will never be. I guess in that life, it will remain the same forever. So yeah, that's it. If you ask me, that's my opinion. That will never change, and I wanna give something to the people. I wanna give something to the most that I can reach. If you ask me, I can be useful even to the top 1%ers and to everyone else. I have even if by just an idea, by just a few words, by just a sentence from all that, uh, even if by example, even if by bad example, I can teach everyone something, and I wanna go that way. I wanna be there. I wanna literally help by whatever any means, even if by just a little. And that's why actually that's my main idea that's always above my head, and that's making me happy. So I would actually by somehow try to reach the most people. And if I for example concentrate on just one subject, on just one topic, I wouldn't be able to do so. And also I think it's more profitable for the beginning of the big time journey of achieving great and continue to grow to actually start from that point. So don't feel like you have to focus on just one subject. It's a very good advice, and I'll probably tell you that at some point you have to go there. But if you're starting your journey right now, or you have started recently, um, you'd probably it's a good idea to at least think about having building a few businesses, and there are so many. I would like to maybe make a podcast or something like that with maybe some other specialists in that field of entrepreneurship, and to just discuss with them that topic, because I deem it important, and I'm sure of what I'm talking about on this subject, and really to put some more light to it, because it's not my advice is not enough. I understand, and it could be controversial because there are so many opinions against doing more than one main business, but or more than one business at all, more than one brand, etc., etc. But I'm sure that I'm right, because I have so many examples, like I said. And if you are trying to reach from the smallest businesses to an average level, um, and even if that means combining your businesses at the end of the day, that's an option, that's a good thing. But starting from just one point, even if it's very specific and it's an open niche, etc., etc., I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend that only if you feel so, and only if you know that it will be successful, and if you don't want to do other things. But don't, if you ask me, well, that's my advice. Don't limit yourself to one business if you don't feel like doing things that way. At least the first few years, maybe a decade of your journey. Yeah, that's mainly what I wanted to share. And like I said, that's a very big topic, and I'll be putting more points, more bullets. Why is that important? Why I deem that's the best way of doing things? Why it's more stable, and the risk is lower if you try to do that, and why focusing on just one subject is not always the best way, and it's very much harder to focus on just one thing nowadays than focusing on several subjects. And even if you are making just one company, just one brand, you still need to reconsider getting in more than one field if you are not a very strict specialist in something and you want to go there. But then you have the portfolio more of an employee that an entrepreneur. But if that's your thing, maybe then you don't really need a big team. And yeah, I actually can't help people like that, because I am not so much of a specialist in a certain field, only doing one thing and being in only one field, very focused on it. So I'm not sure I can help with my advice as much to people like that. But if you are on a specific, if you are, for example, in the management, that's a very large field, and you can still try several ways of um, building business on your skill set. And I would recommend that if you are in the marketing. Once again, of course, it's the same if you are in more humanitarian sciences, for example, like psychology and sociology, etc., etc. I would strongly recommend that, of course. But if you are, for example, in a certain a very strict specialist in certain software, in, for example, well, coding, developing. Development as a software, maintaining it, etc., etc. Maybe then the best way would be to freelance, or to be working on your own, or with a small team of specialists. You maybe need some marketing, some auditing, etc., etc. But yeah, you don't really need that kind of stuff I'm talking about. It's more for those people that don't have that kind of hard skills, that are helping them reach with only their knowledge and only their own path, that's very strict. And yeah, that's mostly about it. Thank you very much, guys. See you later.